Yep. That is, you're listening to Our Waking Hour Break Me Down. Looked them up on YouTube. They're pretty good, actually. I like them. Never heard them before. Like what I hear from them. Might want to look into that. Anyways, guys, welcome to the show. This is Drew Yari, and it is April 12th, 2018. It is Thursday, and tonight will be another solo show. No Devin this week, no Jesus this week, just me. And we're here to talk about a couple topics. If you're a sports fan, the NBA playoffs are coming up this weekend. Starting this Saturday on both ESPN and NBC, and then not NBC, ABC, and then Sunday will be the TNT portion. And then I'll be discussing the Wrestlemania results as well as the Takeover results. Also, as well as the Raw and Smackdown after WrestleMania. I guess we can start off with. I guess we can just start off with Takeover. NXT Takeover was last Saturday in New Orleans in the Smoothie King Center. Great freaking show. It was really long, like really long. Like usually the show starts at like 7 and it ends at 9. Like it ends exactly at 9. But I don't know. This time they went all out, and they decided to just let those guys go out there and tear shit up. Anywho, let's start off with the show. First match on the card was Adam Cole becoming the new. Well, let's kind of go backtrack a little bit. The ladder match for the NXT North American Championship, Adam Cole defeated EC3, Killian Dane, Lars Sullivan, Ricochet, and Velveteen Dream. I was like barely getting out of work, and I decided to watch this on my phone. I was waiting for my girlfriend. Overall, great match. Ricochet, they saved him for last, and he got a huge reaction. I can finally, see Ricochet a lot more. Like I said before, I don't really watch independent wrestling all that much. I don't really watch the indies. I don't watch, NJPW too much. Now that I have access, the AXS channel, I can watch it a lot more. Yeah, Ricochet, he was right for this match. He's the flippy, kicky, high, do high spots guy, and he lived up to the name. Killian Dane, was just going apeshit in this match. He's a big guy, but he moves pretty light for a big guy. EC3, it seemed like he didn't really get a good reaction, but a lot of people who were there said he did. So I liked what I saw from him. Is he gonna be a face? Kind of seems like it. I don't know. I honestly thought it was going to come down to him and Adam Cole, but it ended up being Ricochet and Cole, which I don't have a problem with that. As predicted, like I said, Adam Cole was going to win this. They want to put over that group, that undefeated era group, and yeah, that's about it. Lars Sullivan, for a guy who's really, really new, he really went out there and impressed. He was just killing motherfuckers left and right. And Velveteen Dream, he really took a back seat in this match. You know what? I think he got hurt. I believe he got hurt, so that's why he kind of had to take a back seat in the match. Overall, the match I thought was really good. When it comes to ladder matches, especially when there's this many guys in it, I usually kind of, pause and go, is it going to be really good or is it going to be really sloppy? But overall, it was really, really good. I came home right when the match is ending. Oh my god, Mauro Ranallo. Can we just talk about him for a second? I fucking love Mauro Ranallo so much. He was just going apeshit tonight. Like my girlfriend doesn't watch NXT too much, but just hearing his voice, she was just like, who is this guy? He really brought it tonight, and I love that. Just made the show even better. Anyways, next match on the card: Shayna Baszler versus Ember Moon for the NXT Women's Championship. And Shayna Baszler won by submission. As predicted, I mean, they wanted to get the NXT girls over. You know, Shayna. I'm not the NXT. They wanted to get the MMA, UFC girls over, and as predicted, they gave Shayna the championship. And we'll get into WrestleMania after this. And what else was I gonna say? I'm not a huge fan of Ember Moon, to be honest. I don't know. She has an odd look. I'm not sure what her gimmick is supposed to be. I don't know if she seems like she's supposed to be like, you know, a black vampire or something. So I mean, she's very talented. I'm not sure what she's supposed to be. What is the appeal? And I thought it was interesting how they had Hailstorm come out and sing her entrance. Overall, the match was what you thought it would be. I like the spot where Shayna, quote unquote, you know, dislocated her elbow, and then she just popped it right back into place like she was in fucking Rambo or something. So she's not just a chicken shit heel. She's actually a heel that will like beat the shit out of you if she has to. She doesn't care if you're a heel or a face. So, what's next for her? I'm not too sure who's on that roster that can compete with her. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to have her, you know, break Asuka's streak. You know, that seems like the right thing to do. Next match is the Triple Threat Tag Team match for the NXT Tag Team Championships and the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic Trophy. Undisputed Era defeated Authors of Pain and Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong. Overall, again, I called this Undisputed Era winning because they want to give all those guys the championships. They tease that, you know, Kyle O'Reilly might have to go out there and wrestle on his own, but then he came out and Adam Cole came out to a Rocky ovation. So yeah, that's about it. The big takeaway in this match is Roderick Strong turned his back on Pete Dunne and sided with the Undisputed Era because what's his name? Bobby Fish is legit hurt towards ACL, I believe. So they wanted to add another indie guy, an indie darling in that group. So yay! I mean, I'm not sure how that's gonna go. In the end, Undisputed Era won. They kept their tag team titles and they won the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. That's a pretty sweet looking trophy, I gotta admit. It's a lot better looking than the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal or the Vagina Trophy for the women. I don't see how. It's just weird how the main roster with their belts or their championships or whatever, they look weird. They just look awful and just weird. But NXT, they actually put time into their championships and how they look. I don't know. Anyways, overall this match I thought was good. You know, it was what it was. I kind of called it. I think everyone called this. And then, you know, this is Authors of Pain's last night on the NXT roster. So, I'm pretty sure everyone knew that. What else? What is this set up for the Undisputed Era? Because the talk is that this will set up a feud between the Undisputed Era and Pete Dunne and his boys. I forget what the fuck they're called. I just saw them the other day. I think it was like the British Wrecking Crew or something. Hold on. Let me look this up. What are they called? Yeah, I can't see. I can't really find what they're called. And someone called them something. I'll just go with British Wrecking Crew. That seems like it's interesting. Pete Dunne, I like him. He's shorter than me, but he looks like he looks like a tough dude. He has a face made for a heel. Tyler Bates is weird. I mean, he's very talented. He looks like he's 12, and he has He has like this random mustache. But hey, he's with Liv Morgan. He's hitting that, so can't fault him for that. Anyways, next match, NXT Championship. Aleister Black defeats Andrade Cien Almas with Zelina Vega. Oof, let's talk about her for a bit. For the NXT Championship. Really good match. I wouldn't have been surprised if Andrade won. That wouldn't have surprised me, so they can have, a feud with him or Gargano over the summer. But it looks like they might just want to move him up to the main roster, which I'm fine with, as long as he's with Zelina. Because Andrade on his own is boring as shit. He suffers from Miz syndrome, where Miz on his own is boring, but whenever Miz has people to bounce off of, he's a lot more interesting. Like, Miz with John Morrison, Miz with Alex Riley, Miz with, his wife. He's a lot more interesting because people make him interesting. This Almas guy, he's really... This has been his year. That epic takeover match he had with Gargano. And now this match, these two, very, very different in styles. They brought out the best in each other. A lot of near falls. I like the ending. And I'm digging that, that spinning kick that Aleister Black does. So what happens from here? Does Aleister Black... Who does he feud with during the summer? And we'll get to that in a bit. Overall, great match. Anyways, main event, Gargano versus Ciampa. An unsanctioned match. If Gargano won, he'd be reinstated by NXT. If he lost, he'd be banned forever. I'm looking at the time of this match. 37 minutes and 6 seconds. 37 minutes and 6 fucking seconds. Like, because we had just gotten home. Well, no, we were already home. And I was under the assumption that this match was going to be a little bit shorter than that. Maybe like a good 25 minutes. Because I'm just waiting. I'm like, okay, we can leave in a bit. But this match kept going on. Not that I was complaining. I was like, wow, they actually let this match go on this long? I thought the package for the match was great. Fucking Tommaso Ciampa. I have not seen a heel reaction for a wrestler like that in a long fucking time. Because he came out to no music, and everybody just booed him like he was fucking Lucifer or something. And he didn't come out with the whole, oh, I'm a cocky piece of shit heel attitude. He had the whole, why is everybody booing me attitude. Oh, that dude's money. He is, without a doubt, and, everyone likes to make NXT out to be like its own thing, which it kind of is, but NXT is a part of WWE, and as of right now, Tommaso Ciampa is the best heel in WWE. That's just my opinion. He gets it. He has the look, he has the attitude, he has everything. He has what it takes to be a heel, and I would be devastated if he got to the main roster and he had nothing to do with it. He had nothing to do for him. And Gargano just came out as like almost a second coming of Jesus Christ. Like, the whole place went apeshit for him. That theme song that he has, is it supposed to be like an anime theme song? Because that's what it sounds like to me. Because I know Gargano's a big dork. I mean, not a big dork, but a big nerd. I mean, I'm a big nerd too. I guess that's why I identify with him. He's, he's a big nerd. He loves, comic books, and I wouldn't be surprised if he liked anime. The match, I guess I'm just spoiled. I wanted to see blood in this match. Fucking what's his name? Ciampa had that fucking big ass like the right side of his eye was closed. Oof. There was a lot of great spots in this match. That one spot where Gargano suplexes Ciampa onto that naked part of the of where the padding is, because Ciampa took the padding off, so it just exposed it to concrete. And then Gargano suplexes Ciampa onto the concrete, and you just hear the whole crowd go, "You deserve it." Probably the most accurate chant of "You deserve it." So overall, and then what else happened in the match? There was a point where at the end of the match, a lot of people said they didn't like the ending. I mean, I didn't have a problem with it. It didn't bother me too much, but I don't know. It was what it was. The ending was Gargano takes what's his name? Or no, let me go back to this. Ciampa, he grabs a fan, quote unquote, crutches from the audience and starts beating the shit out of Gargano with it. Later in the match, Gargano takes one of those crutches, breaks it in half, and wants to end Ciampa. He stops. And this is reminiscent of their match in the Cruiserweight Classic, where at the end of the match, they both, lay down next to each other and, hug it out. It's kind of reminiscent of it, where I guess Gargano, he had the attitude of, hey, can we just be friends again? And it looks like they're about to hug it out, and Ciampa grabbed his knee brace and hits him, and tries to hit Gargano with it. Gargano blocks it, puts him in his submission hold. Ciampa taps out. Gargano's back. This match was everything you thought it'd be. It had emotion. It had the crowd involved. I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to milk this out even more. Like, make it a Hell in a Cell match. Like, okay, you had unsanctioned. I don't know, go for the old school way. Do a not quit match, or do a street fight, or end it with a Hell in a Cell match. First time Hell in a Cell match in NXT at Brooklyn. NXT Takeover. I'm calling it. But no, they want to put the title on Gargano, and I wouldn't blame them. I want to see Gargano as a champion. He is their Daniel Bryan. I personally like him over Daniel Bryan. That's just my opinion. I like both guys, but Gargano I think I like a little bit better. Overall, the show, you knew heading into it that, there's no way in hell that WrestleMania is going to be able to top this. Like, there's no way. And speaking of WrestleMania, let's just get into WrestleMania already. WrestleMania 34 from the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. Let's talk about the pre-shows. The show started at 5. And let's start with the pre-show, the 3 pre-show matches. The first pre-show match was the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Matt Hardy won. What happened in this match, it ended up being Matt Hardy, Baron Corbin, and Mojo Rawley. It looked like they were about to throw him out. And then that's when Bray's music hits, and he takes both of them out. And Matt Hardy wins the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. The right guy won, because Matt's over. Who the fuck are you going to give it to, Baron? Or Mojo again? Come on. So this is probably the first time they've done this where the right guy actually won. And it ended with Matt Hardy and Baron, and what's his name? Bray Wyatt hugging it out. So it kind of furthers their storyline of Matt Hardy and Bray becoming a tag team. So the question is, where does that leave Jeff? We'll get into that after the Royal Rumble review. Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali for the vacant tournament final for the vacant Cruiserweight Championship. Cedric Alexander will be defeated Mustafa Ali. I digged that Mustafa Ali get up where he was trying to look like Sub-Zero for Mortal Kombat. So overall, I didn't get to watch the beginning of the match because we actually wanted to get something to eat and then bring it home. So I caught like maybe the last half of the match, and so I need to go back and watch it. But from what I heard, it was pretty good. It was a really good match, and with these two guys, it's always going to be a good match. Again, the right guy won, Cedric Alexander. I think everyone was kind of pulling for him. They want to push him, and as we're and I'm not trying to be civil rights guy about this, but they need a really credible black champion, and not just Cruiserweight champion. I'm pretty sure Vince McMahon wants a a really talented, really charismatic black world champion. So I'm not saying Cedric will be that guy, but Cedric, they gave it to him because he's credible. I don't know. I don't even know where I was going with that, but he beat Mustafa Ali. I can already see them turning Mustafa Ali heel, because they like to do that. They can't make Cedric a heel. He's too nice of a guy. Mustafa Ali needs to be the heel, which, from what I heard, he's a really nice guy, so I'm not sure how that's going to work. Next match, the 20-woman Battle Royal for the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal Trophy. Naomi won, which made absolutely no fucking sense. Let's just skip through the whole match because nobody cares about it. It ended up being Bayley and Sasha, and Bayley threw Sasha out. I just had this feeling in the back of my head because the way the camera was, I'm thinking, there's somebody that's still in the match. It ends up being Naomi. For what fucking reason, though? Why would you push the storyline of Bayley and Sasha and just shit all over it? And just have Naomi, who, I don't hate Naomi, but what has she done? She's done nothing. You just basically made Bayley look like a loser. You made Sasha look like a loser for being eliminated, and then you made Bayley look like a loser because she couldn't win the friggin' match. So I don't see the purpose in letting Naomi win the match. It made absolutely zero sense. And we are done with the pre-show. Let's move on to the main show. Ugh. First match on the card, Triple Threat Intercontinental Championship. Seth Rollins defeated The Miz and Finn Balor, who is now man, I'm fucking up my words tonight. Who is now the pinnacle and the hero of all gay people. The rumor was going around was that Stephanie McMahon wanted to push Finn Balor as a gay superstar. And Triple H did not want that. Sure enough, here at WrestleMania, when Finn came out to his entrance, no demon, he had the LGBTQ community from Louisiana. And his new shirt, which shows, the Balor Club symbol in rainbow colors. So that just already kind of confirms that Stephanie got her way. I find it odd that she's pushing for gay rights, and yet the company supports Trump. And yet her family supports Trump. That's just me. I don't see how anyone else doesn't notice that. Great match. Great back and forth. This was probably the match of the night. I'm surprised they didn't make this a ladder match. But Seth Rollins, I kind of saw him winning because they want to push the whole everybody in the Shield is now a Grand Slam champion, which I don't have a problem with. I mean, Seth's this has been his year. He's been on a roll, not by having a gimmick or a catchphrase, but just being a guy who goes out there and works his ass off. He's no longer going out there and with this weird 80s villain laugh. Or his John, or his weird Cruella de Vil haircut. No, he's a guy that just goes out there and busts his ass. I'm glad he won. Again, great match. I think it was the match of the night. Next match is the Smackdown Women's Championship, Charlotte versus Asuka. Charlotte ended Asuka's streak. Okay. I don't have a problem with Charlotte ending it. I just think they could have made the match a little longer. Because a lot of the matches on this card, like a lot of the matches that were good, they rushed them. Like the matches that had the opportunity to be good, they rushed them instead of giving them more time. So I don't get it. I don't get the thought process of rushing these matches when they don't need to be rushed. I mean, because I'm looking at the time right now. The Andre Battle Royal you could have easily shaved off 5 minutes, and you could have easily shaved off 5 minutes from that and given 5 minutes of that to Charlotte and Asuka, or another one. The Daniel Bryan Shane McMahon one. We'll get into that. I'll go over time, stipulations after this. I thought it was a good match. It should have been longer. It was just kind of weird how, Asuka couldn't get any shit in, and yet Charlotte slaps on that figure four and makes Asuka tap almost immediately. And then she gets on the mic with that whole, "You were ready for Asuka," which made her just look weird. And then, speaking of weird, it ends with John Cena getting a message from the ref that someone's here. He's been spotted in the locker room. He just runs all the way down to the locker room after the match, pretty much just making everything about him, because he's John Cena. Next match, United States title, Fatal 4-Way, Jinder Mahal, Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, Rusev. Rusev, of course, getting a huge reaction. But nonetheless, Jinder Mahal defeated Rusev to become the United States champion. Why? Why, Jinder? Why? He sucks. He's terrible. No one likes him. He can't wrestle. He gets no reaction. Why? Why not give that to Rusev, who actually gets a reaction? I don't understand the thought process of this company where, here's Rusev, a guy who has busted his ass, and he actually gets a reaction from people, and his merch sells. Then you have Jinder, who gets no reaction. Let's go with the guy who gets no reaction, who can't wrestle and can't work and doesn't sell. And can we all just agree that Randy Orton doesn't care? The fuck was that? Okay, I have no idea what the fuck that was. One of the pages I had was open. Yeah, Randy Orton doesn't care about being here anymore. I'm sorry, that threw me off. He does not want to be here, and I don't know. I think he just needs to hang it up and call it a day. He has nothing else to prove. He has a hot ass wife. He has an ass ton of money. He has a big house. He can easily go out in Hollywood and be a stuntman, or a trainer for the company. Or what did I just say? He doesn't care about being anymore. So he wouldn't want to teach other guys. And Bobby Roode. I think Bobby Roode was just happy to be there. I think he's just happy not to be in TNA anymore. He looked surprised that he was at a company that had a full house for their pay-per-view. So, forgettable match. And, the next United States title match is going to be Jinder versus Randy. Which is like, okay, didn't you have that match already last year? And that match bombed? I'm sorry, there's something on my foot. Alright, next match, Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. As we thought Rousey and Angle went over. Ronda Rousey actually surprised me. She looked more comfortable out there. She looks like she's getting used to being in the ring now. I mean, granted, this is her first match. The build-up for this was terrible. I mean, the only two who looked good coming into this match was Triple H and Stephanie. Ronda was just bad at promos, couldn't do a proper belly-to-belly suplex or a Samoan drop, and Kurt just looks like he's in pain. But Ronda surprised me. She got a huge reaction going out there. She looked happy. I thought it was cool how she had a Triple H and what looks like an F5. Triple H said what you want. He, what's best for business. He allowed a girl to make him look like a bitch. And then what I didn't understand is why they had to make Stephanie McMahon look like she was some type of ex-MMA champion. She's out there putting Ronda in some type of all these randomized holds, and you had to have Ronda sell for her. I mean, come on. I mean, I know it's Stephanie, but come on. I was waiting for Ronda to kind of pop her head up and go, "No, I was just fucking with you." That didn't really hurt. And then just punch her right in the face. But overall, the match was good. Ronda really went out there and surprised everybody. Surprised even me. There were some points in the match where it looked like they were going to lose, and I was going to be like, ugh. But no, in the end, Rousey and Angle won. And moving on to the next match. The Smackdown Tag Team Championships, the Bludgeon Brothers versus the Usos versus New Day. The Bludgeon Brothers won in a very forgettable match. I'm looking at the time, 5 minutes and 50 seconds. I mean, going in, I think you knew they were going to win. This is just another example of WWE using a championship to get over a guy instead of just having the guy be over to win a championship. Because I like Harper. I like Luke Harper. I think he's a guy that could be good as a single star. Just being pushed as just a crazy motherfucker that likes to go out there and beat people up. And like I said in the last show, why not just have these guys as a tag team as just guys who just go out there and beat the shit out of people, just regular looking guys. But no, they got to give them a gimmick. They look like they just came out of a new metal concert at freaking Ozfest with their fake foam hammers they bought with their fake foam Thor hammers that they bought at Toys R Us. And let's just shit all over the Usos after the year they had and New Day, and just put these two big behemoths over. So, I would have been happy with the Usos winning, but, again, they have to give a guy a title to get him over. Forgettable match. The rumor is that they're going to make a TLC match, which I don't know if that would have made it better, but I think judging by the time, they decided to nix that. Next match, John Cena came out to challenge The Undertaker. Instead, Elias came out, did a shtick, John Cena beats him up, and that's when The Undertaker's music hits. Okay, why is John Cena afraid of The Undertaker? Why is he just now afraid of The Undertaker? Wasn't John Cena's whole motive was that I never back down, or I'm not scared of anyone, or never give up? And yet, Taker music hits, and he's like taking a big gulp, he is deathly afraid of Taker. So, Taker looked okay. He didn't look like he was limping around. This is probably the best match you can put him in. Instead of that debacle last year with Roman. No American Badass. That was the perception going into this match, was that it was supposed to be American Badass since Kid Rock was being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Or the Celebrity Week in the Hall of Fame. But no, Taker came out as just Taker. And came out and just squashed Cena. It was basically like watching a game of 2K, of WWE 2K. He just went out there, used all his moves, and then Cena went for the Five Knuckle Shuffle, and you see Taker sit up, and John Cena just like fucking leap in the air and scream like a little girl. Taker won, and the match was what it was. It was what you think it was going to be, and it's probably the best way you can use Taker at this point. Next match, tag team match, Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Had Owens and Zayn won, they would have been rehired to SmackDown. The whole point of this match was Daniel Bryan, obviously. You weren't expecting this to be a great match, especially with Shane, who apparently he made a full recovery because he had hernia surgery. So either he made a full recovery or he's a tougher man than everybody else. He botched a lot of moves. I need to rewatch this. Somebody pointed out he apparently botched something in the first 40 seconds. He couldn't take a clothesline or duck a clothesline. So they did the whole shtick of Owens and Zayn beat up Bryan and Shane before the match. And when things start getting heavy, Bryan comes back in, takes over, beats the shit out of Zayn. 1, 2, 3. No heel turn. No Shane heel turn. No Daniel Bryan heel turn. That was the assumption. I think that would have made a little bit more sense, but you can't just bring Daniel Bryan back and lose. The match was what it was. Again, the match was just to say, hey, Daniel Bryan's back, and he's wrestling. So, I don't know. I think it would have been a lot more interesting if you had it been Shane McMahon is in the corner of Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn is in the corner of Kevin Owens. Each are fighting for each other's future. You know, that would have been a lot more interesting, and I think the fans would have liked to see Kevin Owens versus Kevin Owens. I mean, Kevin Owens versus Daniel Bryan in a match. That's just me. I'm not a poker. I think I get fired. My first thing. Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss in a match for the Raw Women's Championship. The fat Nia Jax who's been bullied her whole life. Who apparently the whole match was about bullying. Nia Jax won. This match easily should have been at least 5 minutes, 3 minutes, easily. The whole point of this match was have Nia Jax go out there and beat the shit out of Alexa Bliss. She beat the shit out of Mickie James for the match, but the whole match ended up being competitive, which I don't see why. Why are you gonna make it look competitive when Alexa Bliss is like 5 feet tall against a giant like Nia Jax? Again, going back to what I said earlier, a lot of these matches, you could have easily shaven time off of it and given it to another match. This match could have easily had 7 minutes, 6 or 7 minutes subtracted from it, and then give it to another match. I'm glad Nia Jax is the champion. I like Nia Jax. I don't like the storyline. I don't like the storyline of, oh, she called me fat. I'm fat. Fat girls. You know, we get what we want. I mean, at the same time, it's almost seemed kind of offensive. So, like Nia isn't the reason why Nia is here is because she's a big girl. I mean, isn't the reason that she's over, like, her whole gimmick, is that because she's a big girl? So, I don't get the thought process of just now conveniently throwing in the storyline of she overcame all obstacles and nobody believed in her and blah, blah, blah. It's like, I think everybody believed in you, Nia. And I just love Alexa Bliss. You know, I love watching her, I like looking at her. You know, again, this match should have just been a squash match. And no Carmelo cash-in, which we'll get into later. Next match, AJ Styles versus Nakamura for the WWE Championship. You could have taken 6 or 7 matches from that Nia Jax match and given it to this. I think we all knew this match wasn't going to live up to the Wrestle Kingdom hype. I mean, there was just no way. I mean, WWE, they like to just dip their hands in anything and ruin it. The match, I mean, I think in the crowd's defense, I think it was just a really long night. Because this show was 7 hours long. 7 hours. Like that's the amount of time. That's a shift at work. You're gonna spend 7 hours. I remember when these shows were just 3 hours or 3.5 hours. No, 7 hours. Oh my god. I mean, there was a cool part in the end where Nakamura was going for Kinshasa. Kinshasa? Is that what it's fucking called? Kinshasa? He's going for Kinshasa. AJ Styles counters it into a Styles Clash, I believe. And 1, 2, 3, which I was kind of shocked because I said on the last show, on the preview show, that I thought it was going to be the night of Asians, and I was wrong. And then when Asuka lost, I just went, okay, so I guess since she lost, they're going to give it to Nakamura. No, Nakamura lost. At the end of the match, Nakamura decides to show the sportsmanship thing, and give the title back to AJ. Congratulate him on a great match. Hug him, and then low blow him. And then Kinshasa, I'm just going to say it however I want. Kinshasa him outside of the ring. So now we have a heel Nakamura, which is interesting, because I didn't see that happening. I mean, I would have thought they would have went the other way around, have Nakamura win, and then have AJ attack him. You know, AJ's a great heel. I mean, they're in desperate need of heels. You know, and from what everyone says, Nakamura is a good heel. You know, he was a pretty good heel out in New Japan. So I don't know if they're going to want him to go out there and cut promos, these long-winded promos about why he's a heel, why he hates everybody. So, it was definitely interesting. It was something new, and I'm a fan of something new if it works. So I want to see how this works. And the match was, again, I think the audience was just tired. I didn't think the match was terrible. I just didn't think it was very good. And this is AJ Styles we're talking about. You know, AJ Styles is the Shawn Michaels of our generation, and he can carry dead weight. I'm not saying Nakamura's dead weight, but he can usually carry a match and make it look better than it already is. So, next match is Braun Strowman and a partner of his choosing versus Cesaro and Sheamus for the Raw Tag Team Championships. The rumor mill going around in this match was that it was supposed to be Rey Mysterio, because he was in town, actually. Big Show, which, because he made the announcement of he's never retiring, he just signed a huge contract. But no, Braun came out and announced that nobody back there is worthy enough to be my partner, so I'm going to choose one of you. In my head, I'm going, is it just going to be an NXT call-up that they disguise as a fan? What the fuck? He goes out there and chooses a little kid. At first, I thought it was a little girl. It ended up being a little boy named Nicholas, who the whole crowd was going apeshit for Nicholas. I was just watching this with, like, going, am I actually what? Is this actually WrestleMania? But no. Braun Strowman and Nicholas became the tag team champions. Nicholas went in for a total of maybe 10 seconds before Braun tagged himself back in, and Braun used his power slam on Cesaro. 1, 2, 3. Braun Strowman and Nicholas are now tag team champions. I should have a problem with this, but I don't, actually. The whole place was going crazy for Nicholas. I mean, it's not his fault. Come on. Okay, you're a little kid. You're in the audience, and you're a wrestling fan, obviously. You can't say that you don't want to wrestle. You can't say you wouldn't want to be in the ring and hang with your favorite wrestler. Come on, you can't give this kid shit. I thought it was sweet. I thought it was pretty cool, and I don't know. It was even more funnier with the fact that Nicholas got a better reaction than Roman Reigns. Nicholas, they can make fun of him all he wants. He co-headlined. He co-main evented WrestleMania. It will go down in the annals of history, and yes, I did say anal. Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns main evented WrestleMania along with Nicholas. Oh, man. Anyways, main event time. Yay. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. And for the first time as a wrestling fan, I actually tapped out for the main event. I didn't even watch the main event. I actually did some schoolwork. I have a lot of schoolwork. School's coming up this semester. Yeah, this match I didn't really watch. I kind of tapped out, and because I knew it was going to happen. It was going to be Superman punch, Superman punch, Superman punch, Superman punch, Superman punch, spear, F5, suplex, which I was kind of right. During the whole match, the fans just kind of turned their back on it. There was a point where they were chanting, "This is awful," instead of "This is awesome," and CM Punk, which that's like become the hipster thing to do in wrestling, is to chant CM Punk if you don't like something. Which, we'll talk about CM Punk in a bit. There was a point in the match where Brock elbows Roman on his head, and he busts him open. It looked like, maybe they gave him a capsule, but no, it was legit blood. He was like gushing blood, like Jesus Christ. And the end of the match, Brock goes for another F5, 1, 2, 3. The whole crowd goes silent. I was under the assumption that Brock was leaving. That was the perception, was that Brock was done. That he would be done after Mania and he would go back to UFC. But no. Brock Lesnar apparently signed a new contract where it allows him to work both WWE and UFC. And this isn't me trying to act like I know what I'm talking about. I'm just reading what I see. Terrible, awful fucking match. We all knew that going in. I don't know why WWE thought this would be a good idea, putting this fucker in the main event again. He's been in the main event for what? 15, 16, 17? For 4 years in a row. 4 years in a row, this fucker has been in the main event. And 4 years in a row, they've all been dog crap. Except maybe the first Brock match. That was okay. Everything else has been complete shit. And the talk is that they want him to break what's it called? Hulk Hogan's WrestleMania main event streak. Which that sounds super. Overall, this Mania, I give it a C. I mean, it was definitely a little bit better than the last few, but was a C. WrestleMania should not be a C. Your biggest show of the year should not be a C. It should be a solid A. I mean, maybe a B, but a solid A. It should not be a C. I mean, they put more money into pyros than they did for anything else. Than they did actually one of these matches to get over. Boy. So, where do we go from here? It almost seems like this is probably the first time I watched a WrestleMania where the next night they kind of forgot about everything. But yeah, let's get into the Raw and Smackdown after WrestleMania. Raw begins with Stephanie McMahon talking to Ronda Rousey and trying to extend an olive branch, doing her whole shtick of, I'm your best friend, I'm not here to screw you, blah blah, and then Ronda proceeds to quote unquote break her arm again. Sorry, trying to get situated. Quote unquote break her arm again, and there's that. Jeff Hardy returned, which was pretty interesting. I'm a big Jeff Hardy fan. He would later team with Seth Rollins and Finn Balor against the Miz Taraj. In the main event, so far I'm loving the tandem of Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt because it looks like Bray's out there having fun. He genuinely looks like he's having fun again. Because when Bray came in the first time, he had a great gimmick. The gimmick of, I'm a backwoods hillbilly. And I'm here, I'm a cult leader, blah, blah, blah. It worked. And it looked like he was having fun with that. Lately, it just looked like he wasn't having fun, and I don't blame him. And I'm just glad him getting hurt before they did that whole Sister Abigail thing where he was in drag. Ugh. We're not going to talk about that anymore. What else happened? Oh yeah, Braun and Nicholas had to relinquish their tag team titles, unfortunately. It was discovered that Nicholas had failed the wellness policy when they found Flintstones vitamins in his system. I'm kidding, that didn't really happen. No. The real reason was Nicholas had a conflict, 4th grade. They had to relinquish those tag team titles, where Nicholas would proceed to say, they will get these hands when I come back. Who else? What else happened? Samoa Joe came back just to insult Roman Reigns, which is always fun. And that sets up a match at Backlash between Joe and Reigns, which I'm okay with that. I mean, those two always have good matches. I mean, granted, Joe looks better afterwards. But I'm down with that match. Another match announced for Backlash was Seth Rollins versus The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship, so I'm not sure how that match is going to go because they already announced the Superstar Shakeup. So, and the rumor that's been going around for a while is that Seth Rollins is supposed to go to Smackdown. So does that mean Jinder Mahal is going to come along? Probably. Bobby Lashley came back and interrupted Elias. The idea was that Lashley was supposed to come out and challenge Brock. Brock wasn't even at fucking Raw. What the fuck? He wasn't even at Raw to do his whole thing with Paul where it's like, oh, he conquered Roman Reigns. No, he wasn't even at Raw. What the fuck? So, that... Oh yeah, and then Amber Moon and Authors of Pain made their debut on Raw. Next show, SmackDown. They announced... Oh, let's go back to Raw real quick. Paige announced her retirement. Watch the videos. I mean, you feel bad for her. Regardless of what Paige has done in recent years, I don't hold any ill will towards her. I'm not the type of person that's going to want to wish something bad on somebody. I mean, yeah, she made mistakes, but... Hold on. This shit's fucking up. Okay. Can y'all hear me? Testing, 1 2 1 2. Alright, yeah, Paige... she made mistakes. I'm not the type of person that would hold a mistake against somebody. Unless it's like something really bad where, like, she killed a kid or raped somebody or whatever. I wouldn't hold that against somebody, ever. And she's a young girl. And I know that's, that's kind of a tired excuse, but, I don't know. I got nothing against Paige. And so she had to retire, which goes on to the next SmackDown. Daniel Bryan is relieved of his general manager duties and is now a full-time wrestler, which brings in Paige as the new SmackDown general manager. Better choice than Jeff Jarrett, which was the supposed idea. But, I mean, hey, it's something new. I mean, for all we know, this could be a good idea, and they just want to give her a job. They don't just want to fire her. Especially since her weird movie is coming out. Her movie, apparently, which is all about The Rock, but it's supposed to be about her. Can we talk about that promo, though? That weird promo where she's stalling for 5 seconds and it just shows her weird Paul Bear-looking face. I mean, Paige is a pretty girl. Why does she need to wear, 18 pounds of makeup? Eyeshadow? Okay, I got a problem with that. But, she's not doing herself any favors with wearing all that makeup, though. Her boyfriend needs to tell her something. So, that was my phone. Yeah, so she's the new general manager, and she announced AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan for the main event. Who else debuted? They announced, already talked about Jinder and Orton. Carmella, the iconic duo of Peyton Royce and Billie Kay debuted on SmackDown, and they beat up Charlotte, which culminated in Carmella coming out and cashing in her Money in the Bank. It's kind of a kick in the nads. You break Asuka's streak, and then Carmella comes out and just takes your title away from you. I don't know, it is what it is. I have a feeling that they're going to stretch us out until SummerSlam and have Charlotte get back her title. They want to make Carmella into a thing, which I don't have anything against Carmella, but she's just not very good. She's not a good wrestler. She's kind of annoying. She's kind of weird. If you do a fucking moonwalk in 2018 and get no reaction, then there's something wrong. Oh boy. And Nakamura with his weird heel promo. Renee Young asked him, why'd you do what you did? And he kind of gave this kind of condescending answer like, I don't know what came over me. And here's where I kind of laughed. Here's where I laughed. She asked him, she said, clearly you're being disingenuous. What's your real reason? He kind of paused and went, sorry, no I speak English. Which I thought that was kind of funny. So, main event, Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. Nakamura came out, interrupted. Then Kinshasa on both of them. And that was the way to close out SmackDown. Both shows are good. Raw did a lot better because it's Raw. SmackDown, where do they go with AJ Styles and Nakamura? Obviously they're going to match at Backlash. What do you do with Daniel Bryan? Do you make that a triple threat? you have Brian come out and be like, you interrupted our match, I want to kick your ass, blah, blah, blah. So, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn searching for a job. They're obviously going to get hired back. Put Kevin Owens back on Raw. Put Sami Zayn on SmackDown. Or as a matter of fact, just keep them together. They're better together. Sami Zayn by himself is just boring as shit to watch. And what else? The greatest Royal Rumble of all time. The 50-man Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. Let's look that up real quick. The greatest Royal Rumble in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, at the King Abdullah International Stadium. Both are on SmackDown. April 27th. The matches that have already been announced are Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns Steel Cage match for the Universal Championship, a 50-man Royal Rumble match, Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor versus The Miz versus Samoa Joe, a ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship, to be announced WWE Championship, to be announced United States Championship, Cesaro and Sheamus versus the vacant Raw Tag Team Championships, or versus whoever wins the Tag Team Championships. Bludgeon Brothers versus the Usos for the SmackDown Tag Championships, a Cruiserweight title match that has yet to be announced. John Cena versus Triple H. Why? And Undertaker versus Chris Jericho in a casket match. It was originally supposed to be Undertaker versus Rusev, but for whatever reason they decided to not let that happen. Let's kind of look that up real quick. When they announced that match, Rusev quoted it or retweeted it and put "Bury Me, Brother," and immediately they replaced him with Jericho, which I'm guessing they just want star appeal, which I understand that. No, he put "Bury Me Softly, Brother," and then about 4 hours later he put "Life is Life, it'll be Rusev Day somewhere." So the talk is that Rusev wants out. He is not very happy with the company, which I don't blame him, because you remember when they brought Rusev into the company, he was being pushed as this monster fucking heel, and then he ran into that brick wall known as John Cena, and didn't recover after that. So what does he do from now? What does he do now? I mean, because they don't like releasing people. I mean, he's asking for it, but I don't think they're going to give it to him, because they want to be known as the company that creates jobs for millions of people. So where does Rusev go from here? I mean, does he go to New Japan and latch on to Bullet Club? I mean, that seems like the smart thing to do. What about Lana? Is she going to go with him too? I mean, I can see them, being a thing together over in the Indies. So, I mean, he obviously can't use Rusev Day. He has to use a different name. So, yeah. I mean, what is Rusev's real name? I'm going to look that up. Rusev's real name. Miroslav Barnyashev. So Barnyashev Day? Barnyashev Day. Barnyashev Day. I mean, yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I like Rusev personally. I think outside he's a good dude. He seems like a funny guy. He seems like a good dude to hang around. Lana kind of has her moments. She's kind of made herself look bad on that show. So I don't know where we go from here. What else? I think that's about it. I covered everything WWE related. NBA playoffs coming up. If you're a Spurs fan, it doesn't look good. And that's me. Kawhi Leonard, they haven't said if he's coming back yet or not. It doesn't look like he's coming back, which, here's my whole take on it, is, alright, the team doctor is saying that he's cleared to play. He's cleared to play, He wants to sit out because he doesn't think he's ready to play. Okay. If that was like maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month, I would have been fine with it. This has been on since fucking January. He has been cleared to play, but he has opted not to fucking play. Shouldn't that be like breach of contract? He's being paid this much money to play, but he doesn't. It just, I don't know. It just seems, I don't understand what to make of it. It seems like he does not want to fucking play. That's just what I'm getting from it. I've never seen a player not want to play. So, I don't know. I think we're kind of past that already. I mean, I'm at the point where if they trade him, I wouldn't really care. I mean, the talk is that he's building a home here in San Antonio. He already had cement laid down for a house. So, I don't know what to think of that. I mean, as far as playing the Warriors in the first round, they had a chance to get to the 4th seed, but they got their asses handed to them like early in the game against New Orleans. So now they're the 7th seed against Gold State, who doesn't have Steph Curry, but they can still get swept. If they have Kawhi, it could be a more competitive series. Probably won't win, but they won't get swept. But, you know, I just hope we're not in for another Golden State Cleveland matchup. I do not want to watch that. It's basically going to be like another Wrestlemania main event for me. I'm just going to tune out. The Sixers have won 16 straight. They won 16 straight and propelled themselves into the 3rd spot in the East, and the Cavs are the 4th seed. I don't know. This looks like it's the end for LeBron James. That's just my opinion. He's already in his mid-30s. I mean, granted, he's probably playing better than he's ever had in his whole career because he's literally carrying that team. Because they have nobody on that Cavs team. All they have is Kevin Love. All they have is, that's about it. There's no Kyrie Irving. Who else do they have? George Hill. Yeah, Rodney Hood. Jordan Clarkson. They have nobody. They have nobody, and it's LeBron carrying the team. So I don't see LeBron going to the finals this year. That's just my opinion. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Sixers went, the way they're playing. They're playing a lot more younger and hungrier. Toronto's a lot more younger and hungrier. I don't buy Phoenix as a team yet. Unless they can get past the Warriors with a healthy Steph Curry, I mean, then they're sold on me. Other than that, I mean, these playoffs look interesting, but we'll just see what has to happen. Anywho, so that's pretty much it I'm going to cover for this show. As you guys may have seen, my show will now be available on Google Play and iTunes. I will make sure to post a link below. And obviously you can find me on Spreaker and YouTube. And I look for Architect. It's with my friend Derek and his friend Irving. They review Marvel movies and stuff. Marvel movies, superhero movies in general. I am going to be on a future show. Fingers crossed. Look for that. They're on SoundCloud and Google Play as well. I'll make sure to post a link for that. And I was trying to have Devin on the show this week. He's busy with this show, the ISIS. And if you guys didn't get a chance to listen to that episode, I make sure you listen to it. It was last week. It's on the episode log. I was trying to get him on this week. He was busy with that. So that's why I have to do this solo show. Which, I'm trying to get the hang of these solo shows. I'm not crazy about it. But, if it has to happen, it happens. Because I can't just let my fans not get content. Anywho, as far as the next show, something obviously next week. I'm going to try to get Jesus back on. Won't do anything this weekend because I'm pretty busy this weekend. Next week, again, I'll try to get Jesus back on. As soon as this fucking semester ends, I'll try and put out more content. Maybe 2 shows a week. And that's about it. As far as that goes, just subscribe, comment below, let me know what you think, and laters.